dive into the other side of tribal circuitry. So now we have the ego side of tribal circuitry, and it's still about support like all tribal circuitry. But this one, the ego circuitry protectively surrounds the defense circuit. You can see it would be like literally nestled into that little space at the bottom is where like the defense circuit would just like puzzle piece right on in there. So the ego circuit is like a protective space around it. It's where material and communal force sustains fertile and nurturing process of the defense, right? So you make the people, you take care of them, and now you have like this like outer layer of the ego circuit. And so on this side, there's no sacral or life generating force, and there's no mental awareness. The central focus is the heart or the ego center. And it's about proving for its own in exchange for a rest. You're going to prove yourself. You're going to take care of your tribe because you got to take care of your tribe. And on the flip side of it, like you get to rest and you get to, have some alone time and take care of yourself. And then you're going to take care of the tribe again. And so on the emotional side, it's the spiritual dimension. And this side is about communal life. And on the splenic side, it's about ambition and the materialism to ensure the success of the tribe. It's the mystical and the mundane. It's the pragmatism of capitalism and the ideals of socialism and communism.
It's all of it. That's the thing. We'll never get away from socialism. We'll never get away from selling stuff, and moving things around. One day, hopefully, we'll learn to put those two together into a flawless, easy human existence, for mankind. But we'll get there. I feel like I'm there, so I hope everyone else catches up. The thing about this whole circuitry that it sort of goes around, it's got the other two awareness centers. There is no mind. And it's funny because when you look at we'll get to it, when you look at all of the collective circuitry, it has no heart. I feel like we're about to tell the Wizard of Oz story, and the individual circuitry is Dorothy and Toto. Dorothy and Toto, they go together. So anyways, the entirety of the ego circuitry has these beautiful keynotes. It will support. It's got to be up close, and it's the only thing that needs to truly be up close and personal, besides maybe the individual circuitry on the right hand side, right, going up through the emotional. That does, but that's really particular. This is just across the board. I need to be up close. I need to be able to smell it. We will eat food together sometimes, or we're at least going to share it. It's wicked food oriented, and then the food goes into the belly and it nourishes us and it becomes spiritual. And then the hands that feed and the mouths that eat, they share a symbiosis that's as important as lovemaking itself. And the spirit comes around the dinner table. It comes around the other thing egos do. They make sure there's pomp and circumstance to the life. There's traditions. There are things we do. There's colors we wear. You know what I mean? There's our religion, if there is one, or however that would work out for them. All of these values and all of these things that were basically put into place. The defense circuit is there to build up the foundation of the ego in a sense, and the stuff floating around it is all the satellite stuff working, following its many, many, many keynotes. The ego circuit is loaded with keynotes. Loyalty is one of them. Don't you try, dude, go to any ego being and try to act out moments of disloyalty, and it'll matter. It'll happen. You'll matter. You'll hear it. And we get that even that it matters. I don't think bugs matter if one bug beats out the other bug. There's no loyalty there. There is in us in spades, and it's a palpable thing. What are some of the other cool keynotes for the tribal circuitries? Sensitivity to the support is one of them. Sensitivity. It's sensitive. Dude, I'm sensitive. You're sensitive. We better be sensitive to this freaking thing. It's mandated, and none of it is mental. It's all emotionally aware and suddenly splenically aware for survival purposes, emotionally aware for sense and meaning making. I mean, real meaning making. But what are some other keynotes?
What was coming to me is understanding human design has helped me understand capitalism and communism so much more, because now you can break it up into their parts. If everything has its place, if everything is correctly oriented in your life, things work better, right? If you have your job in your correct place, your family life in your correct place, your social life, if you have everything correctly situated, it works better. And I take that view with human design. And so within the like ideals of socialism and communism, it's like socialism has its place within that immediate family, right? Every kid is going to get fed. Every person's going to get fed. Everyone's going to have a bed to sleep in. Everyone's going to get treated the same. You know, everyone's going to work for the family and everyone's going to get taken care of by the family. And then it gets weird if you make it an economic structure, because it's ultimately not an economic structure. It's about taking care of everyone within the family and within the tribe. If you make it an economic structure, everything kind of explodes. And then on the capitalistic side, you can look at that with the spleen to the will, and that's about knowing, it's about material resources and knowing how to bring in more resources into the tribe. If you don't bring something new into the tribe, it's going to stagnate. So the tribe needs to know, what do we got, whether it's a resource or it's a way to use a resource or it's some kind of knowledge. It's something that can improve other people's lives, and then they could sell it with the 26 out to other tribes, and they can trade and they could bring in new resources, and you can manage the resources. So it's like capitalism has its place as an economic system. It's not so great within like an immediate family system. You know, if you made your kids pay, you know, 1 for 1 to like feed them, like that wouldn't work out. But if you have them separate in their place, like socialism has its place within the family and capitalism has its place within intertribal dynamics and material trade and resources. Okay, we're running, now we're going, now this is going to work out. So it's really interesting to have human design as like a contextual understanding of that, because otherwise I feel like you can get lost in either side of, no, this one's good and this one's bad, or this one's good and this one's bad, where it's like, no,
Each
they're
time you
both,
do that, we deny half of ourselves.
yeah, you need both working well, or it's gonna be a bad time. If you don't have both of those working well, your economics are going to mess up, your families are going to collapse, it's not going to work out. So everything in its proper place.
And when the whole ego circuitry is working out well and people are in their places, there's great human communion and altruism that can show up and work for other people. What the Amish are as healthy as you get. What happened when North Carolina got flooded? You know what I mean? They just packed up and went down there. That's altruism that does that. They
Mm-hmm.
packed up, took their tools, and said, "Get out of our way," and they meant it. And they start building houses like those little devils do. They're perfect, right? I mean, those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
They show up and they start building. They said, "We don't even need anything." They find their own trees. They just
Yeah, they just know how to do it and they can manage in that way.
And that altruism shows up with healthy tribes. It does not show up the same with the collective. With the collective, the altruism comes with a string. There's always string, and it's towards my collective endeavor, my mostly projected channel endeavor. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and very mentally oriented. Lots of streams going through the mind in the collective. You know what I mean? It's loaded with streaminess, very streamy. With collective juice through the head and the ajna, obviously. So no heart for the collective, no mind for the ego. It works perfect.
Oh, I love it. Perfect.